Your parents probably told you, save your money, and they weren't wrong. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Saving money alone has almost never made anyone rich. In fact, if your money sits still, inflation quietly makes it worth less every single year. So, if saving isn't enough, how do people actually build wealth? Your parents probably told you one thing more than any other. It was likely the same advice their parents gave them, and their parents before that. Save your money. It is solid advice, born from a place of love and a desire for your security. They wanted you to have a cushion for when life inevitably gets bumpy. Saving keeps you safe from the immediate storms, the unexpected car repair, the sudden job loss. It feels responsible and good to have a pile of cash set aside, a tangible result of your hard work and discipline. It is a financial safety net, a buffer between you and the unpredictable nature of the world, and for that, it is absolutely essential. They were right to say it. Having savings is a prerequisite for any kind of financial stability. Without it, you are perpetually one emergency away from disaster. But here's the uncomfortable truth that often gets left out of the conversation, the part that our parents might not have fully understood or articulated. Saving money by itself rarely makes someone wealthy. It is a crucial first step, but it's only that, a step. It is the foundation, not the entire house. Relying solely on saving to build wealth is like trying to cross an ocean in a rowboat. You might be safe from the immediate waves, but you are not making much progress toward a distant shore. The world of money has layers of complexity that this simple advice doesn't capture. The financial system is not a static thing. It is a dynamic, constantly shifting environment. While your saved dollars sit patiently in an account or a jar, the world around them is changing. The prices of goods and services are moving, usually upward. The value of what your money can buy is not fixed. This is where the simple wisdom of save your money begins to show its limitations. It's a defensive strategy in a game that also requires a thoughtful offense. It protects what you have, but it does little to grow it. This leads to a quiet, often invisible problem for people who only save. If your money just sits still, it slowly but surely loses its power. There is a silent force at work, a kind of financial gravity called inflation. It's not a dramatic event, but a slow, relentless process. Inflation means that, on average, the prices of everything from a loaf of bread to a gallon of gas go up over time. Each dollar you have saved will buy a little bit less next year than it does today. Your money isn't shrinking in number, but its purchasing power, its real-world utility, is quietly eroding day by day. Inflation is one of the most important and least understood concepts in personal finance. In simple terms, it means your money is worth less over time. A dollar today buys more than a dollar will in 10 or 20 years. Think about the stories your grandparents tell a candy bar, a movie ticket, used to cost. That's inflation in action. It doesn't feel like a robbery because no one is physically taking money from you. Instead, the price tags on everything you want to buy are slowly creeping upward. It's a subtle but powerful force that acts like a headwind against anyone trying to build wealth by simply accumulating cash. Let's put this into a simple story. Imagine a woman named Maria, who in 2006 diligently saved $10,000. She puts it in a fireproof box and tucks it safely under her bed. She feels secure knowing that money is there for her future. For the next 20 years, she does not touch it. In 2026, when she opens the box, the bills are all there. The number is still exactly $10,000. But when she takes that money to the store, she gets a shock. The car she could have bought for $10,000 in 2006 now costs $18,000. The down payment on a house that was once within reach now seems impossibly far away. The numbers on the bills didn't change, but what they could buy in the real world changed dramatically. This is the harsh truth about saving in cash. It is a strategy for preservation, not for growth. Saving is fundamentally about defense. You need an emergency fund, cash for short-term goals like a vacation or a down payment in the next year or two. For these purposes, cash is king, because it's stable and accessible. You don't want to risk money you know you will need soon. But for long-term goals, like retirement, saving cash becomes a losing proposition. The quiet thief of inflation will almost certainly take a significant bite out of your purchasing power over decades. This is why we must distinguish between saving and investing. Saving is setting money aside. Investing is putting that money to work in a way that gives it the potential to grow. When you invest, you buy something. A small piece of a company, a loan to a government or corporation, a piece of property that you believe will become more valuable over time or generate income. The goal of investing is not just to keep pace with inflation, but to outpace it, allowing your wealth to grow in real, tangible terms. It is the offense to savings defense. Let's expand on our story. While Maria was tucking her $10,000 in cash under her bed, her friend Luis took a different approach. He also had $10,000 in 2006, but instead of holding it as cash, he decided to invest it. He didn't try to get rich quick or pick the next hot stock. He simply put his money into a low-cost, diversified portfolio, a mix of many different stocks bonds from around the world. He understood that some years the value would go down, and other years it would go up. His goal was not to avoid all risk, but to harness the long-term growth potential of the global economy. For the next 20 years, Luis largely left his investment alone. He didn't panic during market downturns, and he didn't get greedy during the good years. He just let his money work for him. During that time, the companies in his portfolio continued to innovate, sell products, and earn profits. Some did poorly, but many others did well. His investment captured a tiny slice of all that collective economic activity. Because his portfolio was diversified, the failure of one company didn't sink him. The success of the many outweighed the struggles of the few. The most magical part of Luis's journey is a concept called compound growth. It's an idea so powerful, Albert Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. Compounding simply means that your earnings start to generate their own earnings. Think of a small snowball at the top of a very long, snowy hill. As it starts rolling, it picks up a little more snow, making it slightly bigger. As it gets bigger, it picks up even more snow with each rotation. Over a long journey down the hill, that tiny snowball can grow into a massive boulder. Luis's investment worked the same way. The returns he earned were reinvested, and then that larger amount earned returns of its own. Fast forward to 2026. Maria opens her box and finds her $10,000, which now buys much less than it used to. Luis checks his investment account. The exact number is impossible to predict, but given historical averages for a diversified portfolio, it is very likely that his initial $10,000 has grown to a significantly larger sum, perhaps $30,000, $40,000, or even more. His wealth didn't just keep up with inflation, it crushed it. He didn't get rich overnight, he got wealthy slowly, patiently, by letting his money participate in economic growth over a long period. This is the fundamental difference between saving and investing. The story of Maria and Luis reveals a core principle that the wealthy have long understood. Wealth is not the same thing as income. You can earn a very high salary and have very little wealth if you spend it all. Income is what you earn from your job. It's a flow of money. Wealth is what you own your assets that have the potential to grow and generate more money for you. This is why truly wealthy people focus on buying and holding assets. They use their income to acquire things like stocks, bonds, real estate ownership, and businesses. These assets are the engines of wealth creation. Every financial decision you make comes with an invisible price tag called opportunity cost. This is the value of the next best alternative you didn't choose. When Maria decided to keep her money in cash, she gained safety and liquidity. But her opportunity cost was the potential growth she missed out on by not investing like Luis. Every dollar you spend on a fancy coffee is a dollar you can invest and let compound for decades. This isn't to say you should never buy coffee, but to understand that every choice is a trade-off. Recognizing these trade-offs is a key part of financial wisdom. Wealthy people understand this trade-off implicitly. They know that money sitting still is losing its power. Their goal is to convert their active income from labor into passive income from assets. Their money works for them, even when they are sleeping. A share of stock is a claim on a company's future profits. A rental property generates monthly cash flow. A bond pays you interest. These aren't just numbers on a screen. They are productive assets doing work in the economy. Holding cash is like having a skilled worker sitting on the couch. Holding assets is like putting that worker on the job. Of course, this path is not without risk. This is the part of the conversation that must be handled with care. Investing is not a guarantee. Prices can fall dramatically, companies can go bankrupt. Unlike the cash in Maria's box, the value of Luis's portfolio could have been lower at certain points in time. The key to managing this risk is your time horizon, how long you plan to stay invested. If you need money next year, investing in the stock market is a gamble. If you don't need it for 30 years, the day-to-day fluctuations become less frightening, smoothed out by the long-term trend of growth. So, how does one begin to build wealth instead of just saving? The answer is not in complex strategies or secret formulas. It is in the adoption of a few simple, powerful habits that you can practice over a lifetime. The first and most important is to continue saving, but with a purpose. Build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. This is your foundation. This is Maria's strategy used correctly for short-term safety. This cash buffer protects you from having to sell your investments at a bad time to cover an unexpected expense. Once your emergency fund is in place, you can begin to invest. The key is to make it automatic and boring. Set up a regular recurring transfer from your checking account to a low-cost, diversified investment account each month. It doesn't have to be a large amount. The consistency is far more important than the amount, especially when you are starting out. This approach, often called dollar cost averaging, takes the emotion out of investing. You buy whether the market is up or down, ensuring you don't fall into the trap of trying to time the market, which is a fool's errand. The third habit is to keep your costs low. The fees you pay on your investments are one of the biggest drags on your long-term returns. A 1% fee might not sound like much, but over decades, it can consume a massive portion of your potential gains. Thankfully, it has never been easier or cheaper to invest. Low-cost index funds, exchange-traded funds, allow you to own a piece of the entire market for a tiny fraction of a percent in fees. Focus on what you can control, and fees are one of the most important controllable factors. Finally, and perhaps most difficult, is the habit of patience. Building wealth through investing is a slow process. It is not exciting. It will not make for a great story at a dinner party. There will be years, even a decade, where it feels like you are making no progress. You must resist the urge to constantly tinker with your portfolio, to chase the latest hot trend, or to panic when markets fall. Your greatest advantage as an investor is not your intellect or your strategy, but your temperament. The ability to sit and let your money work for you over a very long time is the ultimate superpower. In the end, the path to financial well-being is not a race. It is a steady, patient journey. It begins with the wisdom our parents gave us, to save, to protect ourselves, to be disciplined. But it cannot end there. We must add a second layer to that wisdom. The understanding that money sitting still is losing its power, while money put to work in the world has the potential to grow. The people who successfully build wealth are not necessarily the highest earners or the smartest stock pickers. They are the ones who understand the fundamental difference between these two states of money. They know that saving is for protection for short-term goals. It is the shield that defends you from life's immediate dangers. Investing is for growth, for long-term aspirations. It is the engine that can propel you toward a future of greater freedom and security. One without the other is incomplete. Saving without investing leads to the slow erosion of purchasing power by inflation. Investing without saving leaves you exposed and vulnerable to life's emergencies. The goal is to find the right balance to build a sturdy foundation of safety upon which you can construct a tower of growth. This journey is deeply personal and emotional. Money is rarely just about the numbers. It's about what it represents: security, freedom, opportunity, and a better future for those we love. That is why it is so important to approach it with a calm mind and a long-term perspective. There are no guarantees. No one can promise you results, and anyone who does is not to be trusted. The world is uncertain. But by understanding the simple, timeless principles of how money works, you can dramatically improve your odds. You do not need to be an expert. You do not need to follow the market every day. You simply need to grasp a few core ideas: save for safety, invest for growth, keep costs low, be patient, and let the power of compounding work its slow magic. The stories we tell ourselves about money shape our financial lives. Let your story be one of patience, discipline, and quiet confidence in the long arc of progress. Understanding money is the first investment you'll ever make.